If you have a follow-up question, please ask it following your first. We'll start with Steve Wino, Associated Press.
Hey, Dave, I know you've talked about Connor and 100 points a lot, and it's not something you guys are focused on as a team, but is this something that him chasing this down is something with Gretzky and Lemieux that you guys long from now in the summer, years from now, are going to think about being a part of?
I don't know if you're going to, you'll talk about the great season he's having, but I don't know if the chasing down the 100 points or whatever is the focal point. The focal point is to get our team playing well. And if you talk to Connor, that's his focus also. So he's having a fantastic season. That goes without saying. After the season, you'll remember the season he had, not the chase for 100 points.
How much do you think he's motivated by not having been in the playoffs for as many years as he has?
I think he's very motivated. He wants to, he's the captain and the leader of our team. He wants our team to play well. He wants to be a playoff team year after year, give himself a chance to win the Stanley Cup. So he's very motivated.
Reed Wilkins, 630 Chad.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Dave. Well, you checked off a box last night by clinching, which, was getting to be inevitable. I'm just wondering, not only on this year's team, but your past experiences as well. Once one goal is reached, the level of professionalism and that level of desire that is sort of required and helps teams just to keep pushing and never let off, even if they've hit one milestone.
That's the goal. You got to continue to play well. You can't just take a dip and think you're going to turn it back on again. There's a lot of things that within your team game you can work on. You've got players that you want to make sure are ready. There's lots of things to play for here. So your prep is just part of the process of continuing to play well.
And I believe last night you said a couple of guys, Shore and Haas, one might be able to come back, one might not. Are there any lineup updates for tonight?
You know what? We got a couple other guys banged up last night that were just, they're getting treatments this morning, so we haven't set our lineup yet, but there's possibly a couple changes.
Thank you.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, Darnell Nurse keeps scoring goals. Did you see this in him, that he would, only one defenseman in the league has scored more goals than Darnell? Did you see this in Darnell last year, that he might be better than 7 or 8 goals a season defenseman?
Well, he's got lots more opportunity this year, and we were looking for somebody to really, take up some of those minutes from Klefbom, and I give Nursey a ton of credit. He came in great shape. He knew he had to raise his level to help our team be successful, and he's done that. And it's hard to say when players continue to improve and push themselves, they can get to new heights, and that's what you're seeing with Darnell. Like he's a solid player. This year, he's taken advantage of the situation of playing more minutes, and he's expanded his game and the offensive part of his game to push his game forward. So I give him a ton of credit. With whether you say, did I see it coming or not see it coming, you hope it comes. Players work hard and they get better, and that's a great sign.
And Caleb Jones's minutes have not been great the last couple of games. Is that because he's making mistakes, or are you just riding other guys more?
No, I think some of it is just the game situation. Played a little more last night, so it's game situation. Jimmy, just different parts of the game that you're playing guys that you think you can be successful. Jonesy's been all right.
Okay, thank you.
Tom Gazzola, TSN 1260.
Hey, Dave, with clinching a playoff spot now, is it natural instinct for a coach to heighten his awareness, looking for bad habits in his group the rest of the way? And do you have to remind these guys to stick with the systems, or do they police themselves pretty good? What have you learned about this group?
No, we've had good conversations with our group about pushing forward, and we put an X beside our name last night, so you're locked in. But we've been preparing for this stretch drive for a while, and the details and how you play aren't going to change just because we've got the X beside our name. We've got to go out and play well still, and the preparation is keeps your game in the right direction. So that's our mindset. We've talked about that, and hopefully we can continue to play well.
Thanks, Dave.
Jim Matheson.
How do you plan on Broberg coming in the taxi squad? Ken Holland says he's not going to play games, but how do you just have a player on the taxi squad and work him in? He's played a full season in Sweden.
The experience of him just being around our group and the every day job of being an NHL player, he'll get a great view of that here. So it's he'll practice with the group. He'll be part of our group, but
Sorry, media. I think we froze momentarily.
Okay, and the pairing of Larson and Kulikov, it looks pretty seamless right now. Like a player has come in at the trading deadline and just slid right in with Larson. Last night's game, I thought that was maybe Kulikov's best game. He looked outstanding. How do you see that pairing in terms of just an absolute shutdown pair?
Well, they continue to grow here. There's been a couple little hiccups here and there, but there's enough to like about them to keep them pushing together here. So we'll keep trying to build the continuity between the two of them. But they've both been pretty solid. I think Kulikov is, he's finding his kind of niche in the structure how we play. His penalty killing, he's starting to get up to speed on with us. So it's been not bad so far. So we'll keep working them together, and hopefully they continue to improve.
And does Larson's game just keep getting better and better? You're playing him even more minutes the last little while than you had been.
Yeah, he's been solid all year. He's had a very good year, really solid. Just whoever we've had with him, he seems like that he just stabilizes our group and has given us a lot of real quality minutes.
Tony Brower, Oilers TV.
Good afternoon, Dave.
Afternoon.
Just wanted to confirm that Mike Smith will get the start tonight.
Yeah, Mike will play tonight, yeah.
Okay, and on the tandem of Smith and Koskinen, since Smith's return from injury early on in the year, both goalies have really provided your club with excellent goaltending. Can you speak about the tandem and why they happen to work so well off of each other?
Well, I think they're both quality goaltenders, that they get enough rest, get enough practice. They know that both of them are veteran guys enough where they take the responsibility for their job that they have to do for our team. And Schmidt's played a little more than Koski since he's came back, and Schmidt's earned the right to do that with his play. But both the guys have been really solid, no matter what. And to be a good team, you need that consistency in net all the time, and they've given us that.
Thank you.
Last question, Darnell Bowman, The Athletic.
Good morning, Dave. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said when Kulikov first came, your intention was to maybe try him in a couple of different places. Obviously, you feel like you found, at least for now, a spot with him or with Larson rather. I'm just curious, if you're trying to tinker with the lineup a little bit down the stretch, just for getting guys in and stuff. How do you feel like as you try to find the right pairings on defense and up front, you can kind of manage that as you head down the stretch?
Well, we'll see how we go here. We've got tonight a couple guys nicked up, so we'll see where the lineup goes tonight. But then, coming in the rest of the week and down the stretch, you'd like to get a lineup that you feel comfortable with, and you got to get in your rhythm and get ready for playoffs. So we've talked about that internally here, about making sure we try to get as many guys as we can up and going, especially guys that haven't played much. And then get our group with who we think will be starting in the playoffs, and get our group together and get the rhythm of that lineup going. The last part of the year. So it's a balancing act, but we'll hopefully we'll have a good plan in place, and we'll come into the playoffs with everybody being ready.
Thank you.
One more, Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
David, Daniel, kind of follow up on Kulikov. You mentioned you want to start him with Larson. It's been really good. Do you need to see him with someone else just in case of a possible injury? Are you comfortable with that pairing? Because it seems like that would, the role you have them in kind of fits exactly for their skill set.
Yeah, as they've grown, we probably would have, if it would have kind of went sideways early, then you try them with somebody else. But right now we like what we see, and so we'll kind of continue with it. But you never know when a player comes in, you're just not sure where the fit would be, but he's fit in there pretty well. And each game they've got a little better, and so we want to kind of leave that, and we'll see how it goes here the last stretch. But as of right now, it seems like they're a pretty good pair.
And lastly, Dave, with 6 games to go, there's still a chance to move up and a small chance to move down, but it seems like you're locked in second. So Connor talked about you can't just flip the switch, and looking at a lot of teams, you want to go into the playoffs hot. But so how do you balance that, knowing that your team's in and you accomplished the first step? What's the message in these final 6 games to ensure that your team does the small details that you want them to do come playoff time?
No, you got to stay on top of those. The details and how you play have to continue to work on every day. And Connor's exactly right. We've talked about it as a group. You just can't take your foot off the gas and then expect to jump on it again. We've got to play solid hockey. And, there's some things that we'll have some focus points that we work on. Each game we might have a focus point. Okay, we want to dial this in tonight. But ultimately, you got to play well. You got to have all parts of your game in place. And that'll be our focus the last little bit here. The preparation is important, so you need to play well. If you just talk about it and don't do it, then it's not helping anybody.
Thank you. This concludes Dave Tippett's media availability. You'll be placed in the waiting room prior to Darnell Nurse and Tyler Ennis. Go ahead, Jim.
Darnell, you've got 15 goals this year. The most you ever scored in junior was 13, 12 another year. Did you always have the goal scoring in your toolkit?
Yeah, I think I've always got myself the right spots on the ice. Just kind of making the most of those opportunities now. So yeah, I think it's definitely something that I'm capable of doing. I'm just starting to show I can do it, and just gotta continue to do it.
And you played your 400th game last night. I asked Connor McDavid that last week. Did it seem like 400 games had gone by quickly, or is it been just a general progression for you?
Yeah, it's gone by pretty fast. It's crazy. Like you go back and think about, you just like starting in junior, and that kind of felt like yesterday. So it's gone by fast. It's been enjoyable, and yeah, there's a lot more work to do, and just excited about what the next games can bring.
Thank you.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Hi, Darnell. I'm just curious for your thoughts about the power play and your role on it. How would you describe the way you quarterback the power play compared to the way maybe Tyson Barrie and even Oscar Kupon do it?
Yeah, no, I just obviously go out there usually later on, and I'll just try to do a puck mover up there on the point, and then when the opportunity comes to step in the one from the top, I like to. I think I've done that a little more this year than in the past. So yeah, just try to go out there and move the puck and make it. Move my feel on the blue line. Try to open up the flanks for guys, but I just go out there at the end and try to tidy it up.
You seem to be a guy kind of maybe in the middle in terms of Barrie likes to shoot the most and Klefbom maybe the least, and you're maybe in the middle. Do you sense that? And is there ever any hesitation to pull the trigger when you have the two guys on the flanks that you do?
No, I don't think you have to. I think you have to kind of eliminate the hesitation, because obviously teams are so locked into taking away the flanks, because our half walls run so well. So in times. If you don't take the shot, it kind of sets up for other teams our penalty kills. So that's kind of where the give take and that balance comes, where you have to know when to let it fly and when to get out to the side.
Thank you.
Steve Wino, Associated Press.
Okay, Darnell, obviously you played with Connor for so many years. How fun has the season been? Just to be a part of this, the season he's having, and watch what else he's doing?
Yeah, obviously it's been very special. You get into seasons like this, and you don't know really what to expect, but just being able to play every other night and just have fun, and obviously seeing what he's been capable of doing here in such a short period of time, I think it's special for anyone around here and anyone who's able to watch and see. So yeah, it's been fun to be a part of.
Now that you guys have qualified for the playoffs, have you thought about how weird this is going to be? I mean, it's a different format. It's all in division. You don't know where you're going to be playing games. Have you allowed yourself to think about that yet?
No, not yet. Kind of just take it one day at a time and tackle the challenge that's right in front of us. And tonight that's playing against Vancouver. So, no, I think whatever happens, however it all shakes out, that's for others to decide. We just worry about myself personally. Just try to worry about taking one day at a time and enjoying it all.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Darnell, you're a guy that's involved in a fair amount of scrums over the years. I don't know if you saw the Wilson Capitals Rangers thing yesterday. What's your thoughts on wrestling matches? Is there a code there or anything, or is that just two guys wrestling?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to make a comment on that when you're not in the situation, right? You can. Everyone could say they would handle the situation one way or another, but I mean, unless you're in that moment and unless you're in the heat of that battle, I don't think it's not fair for anyone else to kind of make that judgment that wasn't involved in it.
Now, you're involved, of course, with your team, as Daniel alluded to. You've had a great season scoring goals, so you're playing tons of minutes. Just down the stretch here now for this team, there's not a lot to play for per se as far as standings goes, but in 2017, I think you guys were 8-2 going in. Are you a big believer that, riding a hot hand, that momentum can carry over in the playoffs, or is it a full stop and you just restart come postseason time?
No, I think there's definitely an element of carrying your game in from the regular season into the playoffs. Obviously, last night was a huge night, being able to punch our ticket into playing in the playoffs. But with that said, these remaining 6 games are huge because you want to just continue to build off the momentum that we've built to this point, and you don't want to lose the game and structure in the way that we want to play. So for us, I think the important 6 games is huge because you just want to continue to play the right way, and knowing that you're going into the playoffs with the right mindset and the right game plan and work ethic.
Thanks.
Rob Pichkowski, Post Media.
Darnell, just following up on Gregor's question there a little bit. Like it's unlikely that you will move up or down, and you've got 4 games late in the season against a team that's basically out of it. Where do you, as a team or personally, draw motivation from when you're heading into a game like that?
You get to suit up and play in this league. I think that's as much motivation as you need. And on top of that, like I said, like the way that you play in these last 6 games, we really have 10 weeks, 14 days left, 10 days to 12 days left. So the habits and the work and the way you play it carries over, because it's not like for us that we're going to play these games and then have a week off and then start the playoffs. It's going to be pretty bang bang from the finish of our season to starting everything up. So these games are important just in maintaining our focus, maintaining our game, and maintaining the way that we want to play going into the playoffs.
On one hand, you want to maybe enjoy the breathing room that you guys have earned as a team a little bit down the stretch here. On the other hand, like you said, you want to be gaining momentum heading into the playoffs. Is it possible to do both? How do you do both?
I just keep playing. I think the playoffs are going to come, and we got to be ready for that. I mean, you can't look too far ahead. And like I said, we have games coming up, and you got to focus on each game at a time, each day at a time, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. So I think for us as players, we just need to show up and know we know the way we need to play, and I can't waver and can't differ just because we've locked ourselves into a playoff spot.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this includes Darnell Nurse's media availability. So again, if you have questions, please use the raise hand function. Start with Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Tyler, you got back in last night and played about 10 minutes. How frustrating has this been for a guy used to playing regular minutes?
Yeah, it's been a challenging year, but it's you have to stay ready. I think the guys that have been in and out have done a good job of, staying prepared, practicing hard and staying ready. And you just have to do the little things right and do what you can every night to stay in the lineup.
Have the coaches told you why you were on the taxi squad and not playing?
I mean, I think there's been some cap issues this year that has made, certain decisions maybe more difficult than other years. So, we've had good communication. I think it's just been important for myself and for everyone else in my position, taxi squad guys in and out to stay ready. And we've been practicing hard and staying positive.
Daniel Ballman, The Athletic.
Hey, Tyler, you mentioned obviously the importance of practicing hard and staying ready and whatnot. I'm just curious if is it a little bit more difficult to do that in a year like this where you don't have maybe the kind of escape valves away from the rink and you're kind of more confined this year with COVID situations and all that. Is it a little bit more challenging to kind of have some time yourself and kind of, do that?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It is hard, probably more challenging than other years because, like you said, you're kind of stuck inside a lot of the time, and there's not much to do outside of the rink. We're limited, but that's what we're paid to do. We're paid to play well when we're in the lineup, and if that means you have to take care of yourself and grind mentally through the struggles that everyone's going through right now in the world, then that's what we're supposed to do, and that's what we have to do.
I remember when you were signed to come back here, you seemed very, this is the place you wanted to be, and you're from here and everything. It's clearly that this season hasn't gone the way you probably had envisioned, but any regrets, for lack of a better word, about your decision, or is there any kind of positivity about kind of what's to come here and trying to get into the playoff mix with this team?
No regrets at all. I mean, we clinched a playoff berth last night, which is awesome. We got a great group of guys. We have a real chance. We're growing every night. We're getting better every day. This is where I want to be. I love it here. I love this city, and I'm really excited about what we're building right now.
Tony Brower, Oilers TV.
Hey, Tyler, thanks so much for sharing what's on your mind. But you got into the lineup yesterday. How did you assess that game went for you personally?
I thought it was good. I mean, when you haven't played in a long time, it's important to keep it simple and really just kind of let the game come to you and just make sure you're sticking to basics and working hard. And then when you get, the field back, that's when you can kind of, make some more plays. And, I was confident and I thought it went well. And I think, Clowder and Archie were a pleasure to play with. We got Chaser in the third, and he's a great player. And it was fun. I'm looking forward to tonight.
And how much do you look forward to the challenge of potentially cementing yourself in the lineup before the playoffs and beyond?
Yeah, again, it's you have to have the same mentality. Stay ready when you're in, work as hard as you can, do the things necessary that you have to do to win games. And that's really as simple as it has to be. For myself, I'm excited for tonight, and I like what, our line did last night, and we're looking to carry it over to tonight.
And Tyler, just a quick comment on your goaltenders. Since Smith's return on February 8th, both goaltenders have provided your club with excellent net minding. Can you talk about the tandem and how important that is for team success, as you mentioned, clinching a playoff spot yesterday?
They've been great. Both goalies have given us so much life. Koski played great last night. They've kind of been our backbone. We've had, amazing seasons from a lot of guys, and our goaltending has been a huge part of why we clinched a playoff berth last night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Tony. Jim Matheson.
When you haven't played in a while and you get into the lineup, you're a veteran, but is there some pressure in that, you can't, I guess, make mistakes? You're kind of under the gun when you haven't played for a while?
Yeah, I think as a veteran, what you have to do to be successful, especially in playoffs, heading into playoffs. Good habits are so important. But I think that's a good question and good point in that, when you haven't played, you might be a little rusty, and, confidence is a huge part of this game. And when you're feeling, good out there is when you kind of make a little more plays because you got the feel for the game. Sometimes it takes a while to get back into things because, the speed of the game and time off, is sometimes challenging to have that feel right away. But, you kind of learn as you get older that when you get the puck in and you forecheck and you work hard and you get some pucks back, then you kind of build the momentum, get some shots on that, and then it kind of grows easily. So you don't want to do too much risky things early, get into the game, and then you can kind of get the mojo going from there.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Jack Michael, 630 Ched.
Tyler, the old line in baseball is, finding a guy who can fall out of bed and hit 300. Is that kind of what it's like for you as a skilled guy to, again, you've been practicing and working hard, but is it different when you're in a game situation having to come up with your skill set right away?
Yeah, it's definitely different. You can't compare practices and games. You can stay in shape, stay physically ready, but the game moves at a different pace. Things are happening quickly. That's why we just talk about how important it is to simplify early and then kind of get your legs and hands going, and then you can get moving. But I think, playing with McLeod last night, it was nice because he's pretty confident through the neutral zone right now. He's a young guy with a lot of skill, and he was a pleasure to play with for sure.
And that kind of leads me to my follow-up. As a veteran player, speaking on behalf of some of your fellow veterans, has number 71 perked some guys' ears up in terms of, whoa, this kid can play?
Yeah, I think, we could see it from training camp and, just practicing with them before the season. He's got great skill. He seems to understand the game really well. He's been a great fit, and I think he has a really bright future. He's a really nice kid. He's got a lot of great tools, and he's fun to play with. He's creative. He's got great offensive instincts. It seems like he's got it figured out. On the defensive side too. He's really fun to play with, and I'm looking forward to tonight.
And your moment.
Yeah, Tyler, I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about McLeod, just because you're a fast guy too, and it seems like you guys could perfectly kind of complement each other. And is he kind of a good player to get back in the lineup with, because it gets your motor going and you have to kind of keep up with him and stay with him?
Yeah, I think he's good because he's not a nervous, young guy that doesn't want the puck. He wants the puck, which is huge. So he comes through the middle with a lot of speed, and that opens up things all over the place, all over the ice for his other line mates. So like I said, he's a fun player to play with, and I think he's got a really bright future.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate your thoughts.
Yep.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this concludes today's media availability.
Thanks.